Ooh. Hey everybody, we appreciate you joining us here for a quick American Lighting webinar. This is Tucker Klisch, Regional Sales Manager, Electrical Distribution. I'm accompanied by a few other people on the team, so I'm going to let everybody else introduce themselves really quick.
Hey guys, this is Jennifer Kirkpatrick, the National Sales Manager for Lighting Showrooms. We also have Alyssa and Tracy. Say hi, guys.
Hello. Hi, guys.
All right, we're going to wait a few more minutes to see if a few more people join, and then at 10:03 we're going to get started. Just want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen in on the webinar. We are going to cover a lot of new product stuff, a lot of specs, when things are coming in, when you guys can expect samples and literature. And then a large portion of the PowerPoint is going to be on Bluetooth mesh and how to operate it. We've gotten a lot of questions from customers, reps already. We're already thinking that this is going to be a huge product category for us, so we want to make sure that you guys have all the information you need to go out and start selling it. So there's quite a bit of ground to cover in the presentation, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on each slide, but at the end of the presentation, you will get a copy of the PowerPoint, and then there will also be a recording that we will send out to everyone. So if you need to re-listen to any of the information, you can do that.
One other thing is, for those of us who joined us on these webinars before, we do all of our questions that you can type in, and if they need to, we will stop the presentation and address it. So if anybody has questions along the way, please just type them out. It looks like we have, all right, so anything that we do see going through the presentation, we'll address it, but please just type it in. And can everybody hear us? If you can, please type in to the questions and just let us know if you have sound.
Happy birthday, Stan Simmons.
Hey, happy birthday.
Sound is good, sound is good, all good.
Yes,
all right, perfect. All right, so we're going to get started. Okay, so there we go. Again, just want to thank you guys for getting on the call. We're going to discuss new product ETAs and specs, Bluetooth mesh. We'll also cover any ALU updates that are coming up shortly, and we're going to go over the rep portal so that you guys know about all the new reports that you have access to and what information you can find on the portal. I do want to go over some staffing changes. I know there's been a lot of changes the last 6 months, so most of you have probably already talked to Courtney. She is our inside sales support for electrical distribution. She is doing an awesome job because right now she's actually pulling double duty and she is helping the showrooms out as well. And then on that note, we did hire a new inside sales support person for lighting showrooms. His name is Wes Hendrickson. And he does start on Monday, so I know the showroom reps are looking for someone to reach out to and get information from. Take it easy on him. He needs to do 2 weeks of training first, so we will keep you posted on when he's ready to start helping out, but you will start to see emails coming through from him. We also have someone in quotes that is trying to fill some big shoes. His name is Jeff. You can email the quotes email in order to get him to quote a bill of materials. And then you also have his personal email on there as well. Alyssa Kraus, she is now a regional sales manager. Well deserved. Congratulations, Alyssa.
Woo!
And then we have Tracy Miller, who is a regional sales manager for lighting showrooms. She's been with us for about 9 weeks now. She's already making presentations on her own, so killing it. Good job, Tracy.
Woo!
Woo! All right, so new product updates. So a lot of these products were presented in Dallas, but we just want to go over the newest information, when they'll be in stock, and then when you can expect to get samples to show to your customers. We do have the adaptive drivers coming in first. They will be here and shipping by March 1st. We are not planning on sending any samples out, but if you email us, call us, ask for a sample, we can definitely ship one out to you so that you can take it out on the road. We have the Hybrid 3 coming in the beginning of March as well. We have 6-foot samples that are going to get shipped out to all the reps. 3 feet is going to be 3,000 K, and then the other 3 feet is going to show the 5,000 K. We're also going to have a factory connector molded onto the sample, and then you will get to see one of the new robust screw-down connectors on that sample as well. In addition to the Hybrid 3, we also have Microlux coming in. Microlux is going to be here the beginning of March, and for that sample, we do have a gift box that looks very similar to the Trulux tape light boxes. It's much smaller. It just shows the Microlux, but it's a really nice presentation, so we plan on sending that out as well. The gift box will go out mid-March. We have the RMS recessed swivels that will also be here at the beginning of March. And for that, we're sending out a counter display with all the different SKU options and an on and off switch. We have the Panorama V2 family, so that includes the single head, double head, and the squares. Those are going to be here at the beginning of April. Those we were not planning on sending samples out of, but you can request samples if you would like to show that. We have the MicroLink, which has been a big hit out in the field. That is your almost Lego-like tape in an extrusion. All the pieces connect together. You can do a max run of 16 feet. That was delayed a few weeks, so we are going to see that the middle of April, and we will send out the counter displays probably beginning to mid-April, right before our stock gets here. We also have the standalone Bluetooth receivers that are now scheduled to come in the beginning of April. We are still working on rep samples, so we will get back to you on what those samples will look like. And then we have the Brio 3-position switch, which is going to be 3,000K, 4,000K, and 5,000K that will be available the middle of April. All right, moving on to the next slide.
All right, a couple of product spec updates. If you joined us in Dallas for Lightovation, lend us your ears on the Hybrid 3. Unfortunately, we did get some misinformation while we were presenting the Hybrid 3 in Dallas. Unfortunately, it will lose the UL listing if it's cut in the field. We're trying to entertain some options of what we can do to have shorter runs that are UL listed. So as soon as we find a solution, we'll get those to you. Another update is that the reels are 150 feet, different from the 164 you might have heard in the showroom. A couple of benefits over the Hybrid 2. You're going to get about double the lumen output. It's cuttable every 4 inches instead of 18 on the Hybrid 2. And the connectors are a little bit different, but they're much easier to use. And then lastly, in your book, just make a little note on page 143 of the new catalog that the Hybrid 3 reel will come with 4 extra power connection kits. Real quick on the RMS puck lights, you'll notice that in the price book, the larger 3-watt version was listed as 300 lumens per fixture. It's actually closer to 150 lumens per fixture, so we apologize for that. And then lastly, real quick, as Jennifer mentioned, we will have the new Brio 3-position switch fixture coming out around April, and that's going to be adjustable from 3,000K, 4,000K, and 5,000K. All right, and on the adaptive drivers, you should already be familiar with these because we've had the smaller 30-watt, 60-watt, and 96-watt in stock for a while. The benefits of these drivers primarily is that you can use them on the primary and secondary side for dimming. So whether you want to use a wall switch to dim that down or a secondary side Trulux control, it's pretty universal there. It has a very low minimum for dimming. It's 10%, so say we have a 30 watter there, only 3 watts are required to dim that. Coming beginning of March, we will have larger 192 watt and 288 watt adaptive drivers. Those are going to be 120 in and then multiple 96 watt legs out. So for example, the 288 watt is going to be a 3-leg, each leg at 96 watt power supply. These are pretty low profile. The largest is 1.8 inches tall and fairly compatible in terms of which primary side dimmer you want to use, whether it be Triac, MLD, or ELD.
Sorry. So the new catalogs were sent out to all the reps last week, thanks to Courtney. She worked really hard on getting those out to everybody. If you haven't received your catalogs, or maybe you need to request more, you can go ahead and send me an email or Courtney, and we can get those out to you. We are getting ready to ship out a catalog and a price sheet to any of your customers that purchased over $1,500 with us last year. We also have those smaller product guides that you guys saw in Dallas. Those are limited in number, and those are really for customers that have the tower displays. Price sheets were sent out in December. We also have the Excel version if you need that. Again, you can email myself or Courtney. And then the literature we have for the Bluetooth mesh pamphlet is now in stock. We have an update on the next slide about the, oh sorry, I thought that said ALU. So the AL website is going to be updated with the new product in April, and then the new TrueLux supplement will be available in May. As far as the American Lighting University updates, the current courses that are out there are the Lighting 101, Task Lighting, Down Lighting, and TrueLux. For those of you that have showrooms that are participating in the SPIF program, sorry.
Go ahead,
we can talk about that offline. The next courses that are going to be coming out, estimated to be late spring, early summer. As it gets closer, I'll give you guys a better timeline on that, but it's going to be the linear lighting, so that'll cover the hybrid series, the RGB, Hybrid 2, Hybrid 3, and then the Polar series in the RGB, Polar 2, Mini Polar 2, the Microlux, the Flex Bright Rope Light, Commercial Grade Light String, Festoon, and Lightstar.
Okay, so someone did ask a question about when the seasonal catalog and price book is going to be in, and it is going to be available in April. We will do another mailing at that time, so you guys will have catalogs and price books to hand out to your customers, and then we'll do something very similar where we send the seasonal catalog and price book out to customers who spent $1,500 or more in seasonal items. Okay, so switching gears, we are going to talk about Bluetooth mesh. For those of you that were in Dallas, you know that there are a lot of people that are interested in bringing this in. This is definitely a stocking item. This is something that can get a lot of turns because it's 6-inch, 4-inch retros, it's tape light. But just to go back to the basics and talk about Bluetooth and why people are so excited about it, Bluetooth is a new wireless system. And basically the benefit of it is that Bluetooth is more reliable than, say, Wi-Fi or RF or IR, and your signal range is much further than any of those other protocols that we just talked about. So the good thing about mesh and how it's different than your older Bluetooth technology is that each one of these Bluetooth chips are producing its own signal. So each fixture is like its own hub. So as long as each fixture is within 65 feet of another fixture and you don't have more than 2 walls in between those 2 fixtures, you can have unlimited devices, and the signal strength is based off of how many fixtures you have in that room. So if you have 6 fixtures, the signal strength is going to be strong, but if you have 100 fixtures in the room, the signal is going to be even stronger. So theoretically, if someone wanted to light 10 miles, they could do that as long as each fixture was within 65 feet of the other one and you didn't have 2 walls in between 2 of the fixtures. So this makes it perfect for bigger multifamily projects. So in Dallas, a lot of you had asked about the security settings of Bluetooth mesh. And what makes Bluetooth different than a lot of other different protocols is that once the signal is associated with an account, no one else can pick up on that signal. So that's why a lot of you, when you walked into our Dallas showroom, you downloaded the app, you searched for the devices, and they did not pop up on the app. And that was because it was all associated with our marketing account that we had set up for the fixtures in our showroom. So that makes it a great option for residential applications, light commercial applications, as long as they don't have any concrete walls, hospitality, multifamily applications, and then also for the people that do call on the AV distributors, they like it because it's a great retrofit option. So you don't have any of the wiring issues. You don't have to have the builder or electrician plan for any sort of system because everything is done wirelessly. All right. So what American Lighting products are Bluetooth currently? We have the 13.1 foot RGB plus tunable white kit. Inside of your kit, you will get 13 feet of tape. You will get a wall switch, a power supply, a Bluetooth receiver, and additional connectors. The DN on that is $180.70. We also have a 6-inch retrofit, RGB plus tunable downlight, and then we have a 4-inch retrofit. And that's not it. So once it comes time for the standalone receiver to come in April, we will be able to connect any 12 or 24 volt product to the receiver. So yes, it's anyone's 12 or 24 volt product. It's not just American Lighting's. And that standalone receiver has 6 ports to it. And the reason why that's important is because that means that that device can work with single color products, tunable products, RGB, RGB plus warm white, and RGB plus tunable. So that's really what differentiates us from a lot of the other people out there with Bluetooth mesh, is that they only have a 5-port or a 4-channel Bluetooth receiver. So ours goes a little bit deeper and allows you to do tunable white as well as RGB.
Resetting them? You want to address this one?
Yeah, so we're going to go into how to unsync the devices from your controller in a little bit, but just to cover it quickly, anyone who's gotten a sample and has bound it to their app and then wants to unsync it from their app, what you would do is you would turn the fixture on and then you turn it off and on 10 times. As soon as you do it 10 times, the downlight will go to 50% brightness and it will start to flash. Once the flashing stops and the light turns to green, that means that it's ready to be paired with another controller. Okay. Yeah. All right, so how difficult is it to install? This is actually the best part of the system, is that it doesn't take someone really technical to do the install. Literally, all you're doing is adding power to either the recessed lights or the tape light, and a signal is generated and it's populated onto the app. So when you get started, what you would do is you would have your fixtures in, you would download the Spectrum Smart Lighting app, which can be downloaded at the Google or Apple Store for free. You would register your email and password. So the email, I used mine, is jkirkpatrick@American Lighting, created a password, and then I would register that account. And then once you register the account, it will bring you to the main page. And on the main page, you can see where it has an add device setting. So once you add device, it's going to bring you to another menu where it's going to ask you, are you syncing a light or a remote, which is also a controller, to the device? If you are syncing anything other than a controller, you're always going to select light. Once you hit light, it's going to scan for any signal that it can find in the room. So when I was doing this last night for the presentation, I had 2 6-inch retrofits in my office. So that's why you see 2 different signals. You see signal 173 and signal 150. I selected both of those, and then at the bottom of the screen, it says binding. So once you hit the blue binding option, you will go to a little screen that has a timer or will tell you how far it's gone into downloading it onto the app. So once it hits 100%, you know that those devices have been bound to your phone, and then you can start modifying those devices within the app. All right, so then you can create a room. So you can see on the screenshots that the devices were added to the phone. You then can hit that little door symbol in the top right-hand corner. And then once you hit that, you can go to Manage Room, hit the plus sign, and then create your room name. Now, on the screenshot, it shows that I have a space between Jennifer's and office. When you make a room name, you cannot have any spaces. So you'll see on the last screenshot that I ended up changing the room name to Jennifer Office. So then once you have the room created, you can go into the device, which you do that by holding down the light bulb icon. It will bring you to the color wheel, and then there's a gear symbol on the top right-hand corner. Once you select that, that will allow you to name the device and set it to a room. Okay. So some of the questions that we get asked out in the field, and I am going to address all the questions that are coming through because I do see that there are a lot of questions about Bluetooth mesh in general. So as soon as we get through this portion, I will go back and I will answer all the questions that you guys are sending to us because there are a lot of really good questions. One of the things I get asked out in the field a lot is, can I use the wall controller with my phone? And yes, you can. So you can program the controller to only operate certain fixtures within a specific room, and you do that by setting it up through your app. So it's going to be the last thing you do, but once you have all your rooms laid out, you have your kitchen lights, your living room lights, your bar lights, you go into the room that you want the controller to control. You would search for the signal because the controller is sending its own Bluetooth signal. You would find that signal and you would plop it into one of those rooms. If you were at Market, you probably heard that it is a universal controller, and if you use it, it will control all the Bluetooth fixtures in your house. That is not true. You can designate that controller to operate specific rooms within your house. Another question we get a lot is, can I use a dimmer switch with the Spectrum products? And no, you cannot. So you can use a regular on-off switch, which is just sending power to the product, but all the dimming, color changing, or tuning is done through the app. And then how many devices can you can control the lights? Unlimited. So mom, dad, kids, everyone in the house can download the app and use their phones to control the lights as long as they're all using the same username and password. So just to touch on this again, as soon as those devices are synced to an account, no other account is going to be able to pick up that signal. So that's why everyone needs to use the same username and password so they can all gain access to the lights. What features does the app have? So there is a color match feature. So at the bottom of the screen, you can hit picture. You can download any image from the internet, take your family photos, pretty much anything you can download onto your phone. Touch a color that's in that image and the lights will change to that color. You can also create it where the lights can dance to music, and there's two different ways to do that. You can either turn the microphone on your phone and it will pick up any surrounding sounds and it will dance to those sounds, or you can download music onto your phone, and then once you have music downloaded to your phone, you can play it through your phone and the lights will dance to the music. You can also create scenes and schedules. So if you want your lights to be warm white in the morning when you wake up at 7 a.m., you can schedule it to have the lights change to that color at 7. You can have it go to a brighter white midday, have it go back to warm white once you get closer to going to bed. And all of that would be done automatically rather than you going in there and actually changing the settings. Okay, a few helpful tips and tricks, because we have heard that some people are losing connectivity to their fixtures. So one of the things that we tell people is that if you lose connectivity, go into your settings, go to Bluetooth, and then turn it on, and then turn it off, and then turn it back on, and you will see that it's actually connecting to a signal called mesh. So that's one way. You can also log out of your app and log back in. That seems to fix a lot of issues as well. And then also, because this is Bluetooth mesh, you do not need Wi-Fi in order to control the lights. The only time that Wi-Fi is necessary is when you are doing the initial setup with the app. And then if you plan on adding a controller to any sort of setup, you would have to do that last. Because if you set the controller up first, it's going to bind all of those devices to the controller, and when you go to set up the app, you won't be able to find those signals. So the first thing you want to do is download the app, do all the setup through the app, and then once that's done, you can take your controller, remove the plastic tab that's holding the battery. Once you pull out that plastic tab, then a signal will be generated for that controller, and you can sync that to a specific room. And then we talked about this briefly, but in order to unsync the fixture from the app, you have to turn the light on and then turn it on and off 10 times. Once you get to the 10th time, the light will reduce down to 50% light output, and then it will start to flash. And then once the light is green, you know that it's ready to sync up to another device. And then because this has been such a popular promotion for us, and because you guys don't have samples quite yet, we are extending the promotion until April 1st. In the promotion, you can buy $1,500 worth of product and receive a 15% discount, and then you will get net 60 terms on the first order. All right, so this is the last slide for Bluetooth. So just to go back and address some of the questions that we got. Did you get most of them, or?
I got
Okay.
put it back on. I answered most of them. A lot of them were just about addressing and unaddressing, and I think you answered most of them. So
Okay.
we should be pretty good. Dan had one here that was specifically about cans that it would fit in, so not necessarily about Bluetooth itself.
I think he was asking about the Progress P87 can.
Yeah.
Okay, when it comes to cans, we are still figuring out which cans they're compatible with. So we will give all of you guys a list of the compatible cans as soon as product development and purchasing comes up with a list for us. And then switching gears to the rep portal, Tucker is going to take you through all the new reports, how to find certain information, how this can be useful when you guys are on the road. So let me pull it. Okay.
So hey everybody, Tucker Klisch here. So basically I'm going to go over everything in the sales portal, basic pertinent information that an inside sales team is going to need for your individual rep agencies, and then quick spot checks when you're on the road. This is pretty mobile friendly, so anybody that has a iPhone, Android, or any type of smart device that they carry with them, it's very user friendly. But like I said, what I'm going to really go over are the different types of reports we have. So as you can see, there's kind of a laundry list of reports, and we want to get you guys comfortable with what's in each of those reports. And then I'm going to touch on customer information and then the items, which is just inventory lookup. So you can check pricing and availability quick. So that being said, we'll jump into the portal. So here is the basic dashboard once you log in to the portal. What we see here is each individual rep we can log into. You guys are only going to be seeing your individual rep information. So we are,
Yeah.
sorry,
No, that's okay.
I wanted to change the rep. I don't know what rep on it, but.
You're, sorry guys,
Okay.
there you go.
So we're under rep 154, so that's going to be Amos and Connors, and this is their dashboard really quick. So you can get a quick snapshot of year-to-date sales, you can check the month-to-date sales, and you can compare them year over year. So this is just a quick snapshot. What you really want to focus on is everything in this reports tab. So there's 3 of them that you're basically going to be living under, and it's going to be the all orders, open orders, and invoices. And we'll briefly touch on these. So all orders is going to be everything that is currently entered in our system or invoiced in our system. So you'll have a quick snapshot of all orders that are back ordered, are pending shipment, or invoiced. You can then separate the two of them out. So it's basically a lump sum in all orders, or you can break it out into just open orders. So here is going to be anything that, again, is pending under the open orders, and you can check which specific items. So you can click on the link under the order number, and you can jump into the order and see why it hasn't shipped yet, or if it's a hold for release order. Where you're really going to be spending the majority of your time amongst these three, aside from checking back orders and open orders, are invoices. So I'm sure a lot of you have been in here before, but the couple points that we need to stress is that under the invoices tab, this is where you can track orders, and you can also grab the shipping and handling fees. So I'm sure a lot of you guys get questions specifically inside sales as far as what the freight we charged on specific orders. And again, that's located in here. So we can check one customer, we can see what we shipped them, we can check up in the maintenance information the tracking number, as well as the shipping and handling fees. So again, the invoice tab is where you grab tracking information. You cannot find that under the all orders or open orders tab. And then again, for shipping and handling, that again is located invoices. So now we get into some of the other reports. A few of the other things in here, sales by rep, it's relatively straightforward. There's not a lot of information in here, but if you just wanted to grab a quick snapshot, you have a date range filter at the top, and then you can go ahead and filter that and grab a lump sum total as far as the overall sales that you've done in a given time period. Now, the other ones under here, under sales by rep, get a little bit more detailed, and this is, you know, where you're going to be living if you want to check month to month or quarterly sales. So sales by customer shipped to is a pretty useful report. So again, at the top, we give you your date range filter. You know, this is for people who have been with us for a while and are familiar with our previous portal that we used. This is kind of a quick snapshot of what we used to use. So we can go back to 2018 and filter all 2018 sales by customer shipped to. So we can go ahead and submit this, and it will filter amongst all your accounts. So it will give you the breakdown of the border states, for this example, billed to, and then it will break down the individual site locations. So let's just say, for example, Jim Gertz wants to know what border states in Orem, Utah did. He can go ahead and filter for last year and know that border states in Orem did a little over $100,000, so on and so forth with your accounts. So you can go ahead and grab just quick snapshots of given time period sales based on the account level and then the individual ship tos that are beneath it. Going into a couple of the other reports that we have here. This report, rep report orders, is a little bit, it's a little convoluted. There's a lot of information that goes into this report, but you could basically see every single order that was booked. You get the dollar total. You get the, let's see if we can scroll. Do you actually want to go control? So here, if you go all the way out, you can see not only the order, the dollar value, where it's shipped to, but you can also see the price class and then the freight terms. So I know we've been getting a lot of questions, at least I have, and I think a lot of people on the sales team as well, as far as checking customer information. And this is a good place to start. But I'll show you in the next report, because in this one, it shows you every single order. So once we step down from rep report orders, there's sales by customer by year. And in here, it gives you the price class and the freight terms that they're on. And the best part about this is you can then sort by year with your date range filters, and you can also export it. So I can expand this list to show 50 different customers. I can then hit this CSV, and it exports it into a easy to follow Excel.
No.
We don't need to go into all that. But it does export into an Excel file. So you can then easily manipulate the data from there. So that's something that's pretty easy to use. And again, for any type of customer maintenance information, this is easy to export and manipulate. So the last couple reports on here that are actually pretty fun to use are the sales by customer, including ship to address. So in this instance, it gives us just a little bit more detailed information. The one we showed before was just sales by customer shipped to, but in here it gives you year-over-year data for the ship to. So you can then check and see what individual accounts are doing for you from 2018, the change. So it's just a little bit more detailed report if needed. And then we get to the one that's all the way at the bottom here, which everybody had in all of our one-on-one meetings that we had in Dallas. And for those of you that joined us in Dallas again for NEMRA, we showed you guys this report, the sales by customer and inventory category. So we're working on bettering these reports as far as the item category description, but you get the gist of what we're trying to accomplish in here. You get your individual account level, and then you could basically see what they purchased year over year. So if somebody dropped off on tape or undercaps or specific product categories, that's what we're trying to accomplish in here. We are accomplishing it, but again, you have to do a little bit of a deeper dive as far as, you know, what some of these individual products are. We don't give you the specific SKU. We kind of group them as categories. But again, you can go down the list as far as what your specific customers are purchasing and then know what they're picking up on or tailing off on as far as product categories. So again, a pretty fun, useful report that you can do year over year once you adjust this, and again, can export. So one of the just key things is all of these reports can be exported into an Excel file and easily manipulated from there. So that's the quick run through on the different reports. The couple other things that I wanted to touch on here are customer information and items, and when this is going to be available to distributors. I've been getting that question a lot. I can tell you that we are almost there. The couple improvements that we're making are being able to export invoices from the rep portal. And once we get that established in the portal, we're going to open it up to customers so that it will be like our previous rep portal that we had not too long ago, where you can distribute logins amongst your customers. They will be able to check all of their open orders, invoices, tracking on their own, as well as grabbing invoices. So that is to come. As far as an ETA, we are hoping by the end of March, early April, we will have distributor access. But all that, again, is pending the exporting of invoices and a couple other tweaks that we need. But, you know, basically all the information is here. We just need to limit specific access and then, you know, send it to your guys' customers. So I guess just to touch on that, the customers will not have all of this information. We will strip back, you know, anything that isn't pertinent to their account. But again, relatively easy to do. The couple other things in the portal, customers. So from this standpoint, I could go into every single customer that's associated with Rep 154. I can then click on a specific customer and see a quick snapshot of what we refer to as customer maintenance. So you can see all of their customer class as far as the trade discount that's associated with that account. So we can see that Ace Electrical has no discount. They're paying book price on everything. We can check over here their default freight terms are nothing. So they are paying freight on all orders under $1,000. You can then check payment terms and a couple other things, but really it's freight terms and trade discounts. You can then see all orders booked, open orders, invoices, and what they purchased in a quick snapshot below. And that's everything associated with that specific account. So if we went back to customers and went into border states, we could see that border states is receiving a diamond level discount, and they are freight allowed on everything over $300. So on and so forth with the customer information. The last thing, and I appreciate you guys giving me some time here, we've been going quite a bit in the portal, is this items tab. So for anybody who's on the road or their customer calls them quickly and you need to find pricing and availability, this is where it is. This is where everything lives under the items tab. So if you want to just ALC. So it's a quick search function that will give you the ALC224WH. We can click on this, and it will then populate the DN price. This has been updated to reflect 2019 pricing for each quantities, not case. So you can get a quick each price if you needed that. You can take 10% off if you want to do case. You can then check our quantity on hand, and that is accurate. So, you know, if there's anything that I want to stress that isn't, it's the quantity on PO and the next shipment date. You can see how many we have coming in, but the next shipment date doesn't mean we're going to have 108,000. Is that 10,000?
10,000.
All right, 10,000. I can read. It doesn't mean we're going to have 10,000 coming in on that date that passed. So this is something we're working on amending, but the quantity on hand and the DN price, I promise you, are correct. So definitely follow this. You can then again track specific customers here at the bottom as far as who's purchasing this specific SKU. So that was a quick run through of some of the portal enhancements. But like I said, the best thing that we have coming for you guys is in the portal, you will be able to grab invoices, and we will be giving distributor customer access in hopefully, I'm thinking the next 45 days. So that's soon to come.
And then on that note, anyone that does not have a username and password, please reach out to us. That way we can go ahead and get you guys set up in the portal. A lot of the agencies that have multiple agents will give the login and password information to everyone in the agency. It will let you see all of the accounts associated with that rep ID. It does not break it out by sub-rep. So just to let you know that once you do give out that username and password, everyone will be able, well, whoever has the credentials will be able to see all the accounts, all the numbers, all the sales by category.
I'm just trying to see if we have questions. Yeah, looks like we had a few here. Looks like we had a lot.
We did have a question, a few questions back asking about the adaptive 288 watt and the 192 watt. So we are taking orders. We actually have quite a few orders in the system already. The back orders will ship the first part of March as soon as they're in stock. And then we did cover whether or not you'd be able to just allow certain accounts to be seen by certain agents. As of right now, the credentials will give you access to the full account list and numbers.
And Bud, I know you've been asking for it. The invoices will soon be able to be pulled, again, hopefully 45 days, and then distributor access as well.
No, we already answered that. So to get your email set up for the rep portal, you can email myself, this is Jennifer, Tucker, Alyssa, Tracy, Courtney, any of us can take care of it. Okay. Right, and that looks like all the questions that we had. Any last questions before we jump off the call? Okay, great. Thank you, you guys. I really appreciate the time. Again, we are going to send out the presentation.
That's a good question, quick.
Oh, sorry, we got another question.
So I've been getting a few questions popping up here about the 3/8" connectors that we are currently not including in the 30 and 60 watt adaptive drivers, and they're a little bit of a smaller niche cable clamp. They will be included on future POs, but we're currently working through old inventory, and once we work through that existing inventory, the cable clamp connectors will start to be included with the drivers. So just like with our under cabinets and other fixtures where we include those cable clamps, they will, but currently we are cooking through the inventory that it was not included in. So just know that they are coming.
Are you sure, Tucker?
It is small. It's small. It's hard to read.
All right. Thanks, guys. We will send out a follow-up email shortly with the presentation, and then there will also be a recording attached to it. So if you need to go through the information again, you can. If you have any questions or need anything from us, please reach out to your sales manager. All right, thanks again and have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, thank you.